Hello everybody, this is Peter the Rock. It's Tuesday the 17th of December and I am at the HS2 Colne Valley Viaduct where it crosses the lake. As you can see, most of the roadways underneath the viaduct have gone, although there are little islands here, there, under various piers. Those of you who know where I am don't need to know me telling you where I am, but I'm at the confluence of the HS2 viaduct, which has a dodgy segment up there, let's face it, and there's a bit of a gap in the parapet up there, but only about 3 mil, which is not bad in 2.1 miles of viaduct. Now this, just the other side of that ladder, that used to be the footbridge, the engineer's footbridge across the Grand Union Canal. So the Grand Union Canal is literally 20 yards away at the most. This is quite a good view of the viaduct, unfortunately interfered with by the fence, for which I see actually no need. There's a kind of a rope close to the viaduct, which is to stop oil dripping into the lake, I suppose. Don't really know. But more interesting than that is this little Dalek ahead of me. This orange and black checked machine. It's not a tripod, it's a quadrupod. In other words, it has 4 legs. And when I was here last, it would let off a kind of warning noise. Presumably it works through recognition of body heat, or you can just see the canal just beyond it. Perhaps the boats going up and down the canal exhausted the poor little thing's battery and it no longer works. So there's one for your HS2 security people. Come and replace the battery. I think it's extremely unlikely that HS2 security people will be scouring my videos for evidence of malcontentness or whatever, because there are 130 of them and they average out about 5-8 minutes, and it would take them a very long time. And of course there isn't any malcontentness in them, because I'm all in favour of great engineering, and this is certainly great engineering. This is the longest bridge in Britain. It exceeds the Forth or Tay Bridge. Can't remember which one. Here is another little robot. It too is having a bit of a rest. Perhaps they aren't so wary of people like me clambering over fences, and I mean, there's absolutely no point. I mean, the only point in clambering over this fence would be to get nearer the Grand Union Canal, and there are other ways of doing that, maybe walking along the Colne Valley Trail, which is what I'm doing here. You can see the sweep. It's full of curves, this viaduct, and the segments which make it up were individually designed, built, made, I think not far from here, and then inserted into the gaps between the piers. The piers are the big supporting bits. There are, I think it's 1,000 segments and 100 piers. But it's rather beautiful, really. The lines are rather nice. It's a neutral colour, thankfully. It's not garish. It hasn't been written on or whatever. The people who are anti-HS2 might well not want to bother to make their protest known in any way anymore, because the viaduct is built at the cost of millions, if not billions, of pounds. The thought occurred to me, if there was some sort of massive financial crisis, it might well end up as as just as a viaduct and no trains on it. But let's hope that doesn't happen. But it's actually quite beautiful. It's almost a work of art, yeah, in its own right. So I think demolishing it would be almost impossible, very arduous. You'd have to get up there with a Kango, as I was once up a chimney in Dover docks. Now, you did need authorisation to go and work in Dover docks. When I was a student, I was a labourer, and I did have some kind of pass, and I had to flash it at the customs people as I went into the building site, and also I had to get out my pass. So here is the viaduct seen from the south side, rather similar to what it looks like from the north side. When I first came here, the piers didn't exist, the viaduct didn't exist, the parapet didn't exist. Parapet is pretty much all the way along now. There are little gaps between the sections of the parapet. That's to deflect sound away from people who get irritated by hearing trains go by. Although there's no living dwelling. I think it's only one that's been demolished in this whole viaduct creation process. And I'm sure the people who live there are being compensated. It's amazing, really, the planning and the money and the logistics involved in doing a major infrastructure project like this. And it's kind of pleasing, really, that it's all been got together. Anyway, it's getting dark, and there's a kind of an uneasiness to the wood. There's a stillness. It reminds me of one of the very first Doctor Who episodes, and I think one episode was called The Petrified Forest, and dear old William Hartnell was pottering around and bumping into aliens and that sort of thing, as you do. And people nowadays probably can watch any Doctor Who episode right from the beginning. In a recent video, I filmed the only statue of JFK, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, in London, I think. And of course he was assassinated, I think it was the 22nd of November 1963, which is the very weekend, dear viewer, that the first episode of Doctor Who came out. The yin and the yang. But although I'm sure JFK didn't quite see it that way. So I hitchhiked around Ireland once, and I got to the southeast corner, and this is apocryphal, but people told me that the southeast corner, Waterford, was perhaps the most anti-British or least pro-British part of the Republic. I didn't know this at the time, and I had a little Union Jack on my rucksack, and stayed in a B&B, and in the lounge, your missus showed us around, very friendly, and the lounge, there were photographs on every wall, and they were all of sort of Kennedy related. And she said, I won't do an Irish impression, I don't want to hurt the sensitivities of my Irish friends, I've got a lot of Irish friends. And she said, oh yes, oh, I've done it now, we related to John F. Kennedy through the Fitzgeralds. Of course, Fitzgerald was his middle name, and there were pictures all over the walls of Fitzgerald people. So that was very nice, and I can't remember the name of the lady who put us up. Next day we headed to Dublin, got to stay with my relatives, and flew back to Britain. So it was the end. Oh, hello, it's lit up. So there is life in the robot yet. That's rather exciting, but it's not making a noise. It's just making a sort of It's just lighting. It's probably filming me. So serendipity rules again. You see, if you're patient, things happen. It's a bit bright. I don't know if I really want to film it. I happen to have learnt Latin at school, and I was at Harrow tube station, and there was a family who were desperate to get from one platform to the other, and were pressing the bell for the lift and pressing the wrong bell in the lift, and just panicking because they thought they might miss a train. And I said to them, well, it's best to make haste slowly. And of course, that's a famous Latin phrase, which it comes out as festina lonte, and it's one of my credos. The next person who's really used that phrase is Corporal Jones of Dad's Army, who rushes around saying don't panic. There's a lot of truth in that. Maybe Jonesy was a bit of a philosopher. You know, you can't just look at fish all day without being philosophical. There's the viaduct through the trees. It's rather nice, isn't it? And it's very late in 2024. If you're watching this in 2026, you may, or 27, you may even see a train go past. Thanks a lot for watching. Smile, like, subscribe, whatever. It's Peter the Rock signing off for today, I think. It's getting on for 4 o'clock. Tuesday the 17th of December, 4 days before the solstice. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Take care. Bye.